Hey guys, how's it going? So, a little bit of a different video today for you. As you can see, there's no fancy lights or cameras. I'm just recording this just directly on my Mac, and I've just got a little mic here. But it's the morning. What day is it today? It's Friday. I lose track of days all the time. So it's Friday, and I'm just in the office, just in the studio now, and I've just been talking, doing a... not talking, but, virtually talking over message with one of the Academy members over at Scott's Bass Lessons. And he was asking whether there was any way of practicing your scales in a non-vertical fashion and whether there was any benefit from it. So what he was asking, obviously when we learn scales, we kind of learn them in verticals, right? So C major would be... And then, okay, so we're thinking down like that. And I have actually I have used this exercise that I'm going to show you a huge amount in the past. I think it's a really, really great exercise just to break away from the verticals somewhat and really try and open up the fingerboard, because it's a real key part of learning an instrument, kind of getting away from the limitations that hold you and kind of breaking free from that. So, and I've heard other people talk about it. The first guy I heard talking about it was actually Alan Holsworth, the guitar player, who is actually born, he lives over in LA now. I don't know if you've heard of Alan Holsworth before. Check him out. He is crazy, phenomenal. But he was actually born 8 miles from here, over in Bradford, in the UK. So check him out. But another guy, a guitar player I've heard talking about this as well, is Wayne Krantz. And they both, it was in interviews in old school magazines I was reading. And they said, they were talking about when you think of a C major, for instance. I'll use C major because that's the key that we'll be talking about today. When you think of C major, what actually goes through your mind? And both of them said, well, I see a huge pattern of available notes over the entire fingerboard. I don't just see one scale available. So they don't see that. They see something like... Okay, so there I was kind of playing all around the fingerboard. I wasn't just using one pattern. Now, if you've been following the way I teach and you've been following scottsbasslessons.com for a while, you'll know that I generally view the scales in 3 different positions. I'm not going to be talking about those today, but if you are an Academy member, go check out the scales course. I talk about it in there. It's a 10-hour course. There's plenty for you. If you haven't checked out the Academy, I'll put a link below this video if you're watching it on YouTube, so you can hit that and go over and check it out at scottsbasslessons.com. It's the best place to learn bass online right now. But let's talk about getting away from verticals, okay? And I want to show you this really cool exercise. So this exercise makes you focus on a particular scale, whichever scale you choose, on a string-by-string basis, okay? A string-by-string basis. So what you do is you play the scale from the lowest note possible on whichever string you've chosen, and then play it to the highest note possible on that string. So let's take C major. Okay, so. But we want to play it from we're going to start on the E string, and we're going to play the C major scale from the lowest note possible on the E string, which is in the C major scale. Okay, so which is an E, which is the third note of C major, to the highest. So it's going to sound like this. Then we're going to do the same on the next string. All the notes from C major, but just from the lowest note on the A string to the highest note on the A string, but all of the C major notes. Then the D string, same thing. then the G string. Okay. Now when you string all that together, it sounds like this. You can take this really slow, actually, if you have to. Don't worry, I used to do this incredibly slow when I first started doing it. So that was a C major scale. Now let's take another scale. Let's take the F major scale. I like to do this, and you can do this with any scale, right? I like to do it not so much like C major, D flat major, D major, E flat major. I recommend going round like the circle of fifths, something like that. So start with C major, then do F major, then B flat major, E flat major, A flat major, D flat major. You know, my recommendation to you, if you're just getting into this type of thing, is probably just stick with C major for at least a week. All right? At least a week, if not a fortnight or a month. Okay, but I'm just going to give you another example on F so you can see this thing in action again, okay? So the F major scale, let's play it just to get the sound in our ears. Okay, F major. Now, we start on the E string, we play it from the lowest note possible to the highest note possible, but using all the notes from the F major scale. Now onto the A string. On the D string. Okay, it's a really tough exercise, but it really, solidifies learning them scales. And again, if you are an Academy member, go check out the scales course as well, because I talk specifically about memorizing them in 3 different fingerings as well, which isn't to do with this exercise that I've been showing you today, but it will, it'll help you anyway. Other than that, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this lesson. Again, sorry it's a bit of a guerrilla style lesson today with the just with the mic and the recording on the Mac. But Denmark, the guy who does all our video, he's off today. Day off. He took a day off. What's he thinking? But yeah, he's off today, and I'll be back next week. Actually, we're going to do something really cool next week. We've had a ton of emails about starting up the Ask Scott that we did at the end and the beginning of 2015, end of 2014. We did a whole series of videos called Ask Scott. I'm going to do one next week just for a bit of fun, and look for that in your inbox. If you're not signed up to scottsbasslessons.com yet, go over, sign up at scottsbasslessons.com and check out the Academy too. It's the best place to learn bass online today. Other than that, take it easy, and as always, I will see you in the shed. Rock on.